Hello, Jill here, Special Needs Mom Talks. Sunday afternoon. Wasn't sure I was going to make a video, but I am bouncing back and making it. And I was going to talk about triggers, but I think I already made a video about that called pausing, the pause. And that's really kind of what it breaks down to. I don't need to hammer it home. We're all triggered all the time, especially me, especially special needs parents. Uh, yeah, there's a lot that don't line up that just don't feel right on the outside world. So it's aligning our inner and outer. It's quite a project. Anyways, that's not what I'm going to talk about. I'm talking about what happens when your offspring that has some level of special needs and qualifies for, let's say, government services. In Massachusetts, it's DDS, Department of Developmental Services. Used to be MRC. I think it was, no, that's not it. I forget what it was, but it was the mentally retarded, whatever, in that old language. So now when your child turns 21, 22, and they go through this process where they qualify to receive support and services, there's choices. And what I've learned through lived experience, and this may not be someone else's, is that these are all really oppressive choices in the long run. And this is not how we should be handling this population. And I don't have the solution. And again, people might say, oh, well, you're just complaining about it. No, I'm drawing awareness to the fact that it's just not okay. That's what I have to say. It is not okay. I've had an offspring that went through, I was adult foster care provider, which is a mass health support network that comes at you. You can get paid for being a caregiver for your own child. There are benefits and drawbacks to that program. And then there's shared living, which is where a young person goes and lives with another family, and they get some training and support around helping manage your offspring manage their lives. And it's kind of getting them out of the home into a little more independence. And there's benefits and drawbacks with that. From my standpoint, to take a kid that's, who knows what the history is, very complicated, and put them in a completely different family, it's tricky because you've really got to wrap around support, and a lot of times it's just not there, or the shared living provider has to advocate for it. They're not trained to do that. They don't know the ins and outs of the systems in many cases, and your offspring suffers. I've witnessed that. And then in group homes, again, there's a lot of these pieces that are in between that are not necessarily managed most effectively and efficiently. And there is a lot of risk involved too if someone's not paying attention. There's not an advocate on board. And then now there's another option that's being pushed, and this is called participant-directed care. And that's where the chunk of money that would be used to pay for a group home that your child, is eligible for or whatnot, is given to the caregiver or the family. And it's not just handed to them. There's a lot of checks and balances, and there's a lot of restrictions and things that it can be used for. And it basically puts the burden of case management right on the family. And they get more, I guess, autonomy in the decision-making process. But again, that's a huge chunk of time that somebody in the family has to manage. And I don't know if that person's working outside of the home. It's just pushing down on people that are already struggling and oppressed in many cases. And it's just not okay. I think the idea, they sell it to you like it's a walk in the park, like it's the best thing ever. And there's all these options, and many families make it work. But I'm telling you, they ain't just walking in and just, you're getting this money and they're walking out and arranging this. These people are dedicated and finding the ins and the outs. No one should have to do that. No one has that time. Many people don't. It's the ones that make it work because they're creative and they have the time and energy that are successful in these programs. There's so many that don't speak out that probably aren't. So I have a lot of strong feelings about the way this population, again, obviously is being managed. And while it's made to look very positive and hopeful, we can do better. We can do better. That's all I got for today. Over and out.